What is up, everybody? It's Nikko from the EHG community coming back to you with another episode from the EHG podcast. Today is going to be talking about things such as CLOUT and gatekeepers. Now, it's going to be kind of weird for me to talk about the subject because things like doing toxic gaming, like I have toxic episodes of Overwatch of like toxic gamers, and sometimes I get a lot of views based on that content. And sometimes that there's some clout of me writing the clout train from that one. But here's one thing of why I do those videos before I get into it. I do those videos in regards to the fact of this is what you can kind of expect going into gaming. And it's not just Overwatch, it's every other gaming area, which a lot of people are like, oh, this is every gaming community, so why do you have to make content for this? Well, here's what it is. If it's every gaming community and they have a right to be toxic, or they choose to be toxic, then we have a right to make content out of it. Especially someone that is with people who are throwing games, people who want to be toxic to other people, people who are toxic to kids at one point, and they're toxic to kids in regards to being like, oh, you know what, you're a kid, you should be playing this, or you shouldn't be freaking playing this, you should be doing your homework. Or even toxic to females and be like, oh, you know what, if you're a female player, you should be playing Mercy or this and that, and then try to get away with it, even to a point where they even throw racial slurs. So they put themselves out there, so we get to put them out there. So that's why we decide to do so. But this is clout on a different level that I don't understand why people sort of do this. I do those type of episodes because of the fact that, hey, you know what? If the company's not going to punish them, or somebody's going to use them as, some type of content to air them out. And some people are going to use them to go ahead and air them out to the community, because some people even see that and it shows, hey, you know what? This player's doing this player's doing that. And whether or not they make multiple accounts, we're going to continue doing that. Nobody made them to freaking go ahead and say those slurs or doing that, or do the toxic attitude in the gaming area. But that's not what I'm going to be talking about. I'm talking about clout on a different type of aspect in gatekeepers to like things such as I would say in regards to like in certain industries. So clout is usually an aspect of people how do I say this? It's usually an aspect to give people famous based on what they do. Like for instance, clout, if you do things like post music on SoundCloud, you can get famous over major amounts of clout with people supporting you. Even when it comes to things like doing martial arts, artwork, even cooking certain meals can lead to you to have a fan base. Things like doing like voice acting, impressions, artwork can lead to a large amount of clouts and followers, which is actually pretty cool. Now that's the benefit of getting certain clout. Like you could be able to do things like showing people like, hey, you know what, this is how people interact during this situation if someone's bullied or if someone's being reacted, or this is what happens if someone is during a situation towards a female or towards a male. And that's something that literally shows a little bit of a scientific aspect of clout. But there's a different story of why like certain things like clout can be destructive. I think we remember all those stupid challenges that people made, like the Tide Pod challenges, or like when they went ahead and do things like drink, Listerine and spit it back in the bottle, and even put to a point where, hey, we have they would lick the tops of ice creams and then put the lids back on, which was absolutely disgusting. And the problem is people did that for clout to a point where, hey, somebody got sick of it, people got sick of it, and then people started getting arrested over it. Sorry, drinking my soda. I think clout could be majorly destructive, especially with stuff like that. If people can get arrested over it, people can get sick over it, and people can do stupid things to try to get famous over it. Like for instance, there was a video of a guy who works at I believe it was a Subway, and he was stepping in like the containers with food in them, which is what they use to make the food, and he recorded it. Which, first of all, if you put that out there as clout and record it for like, like Facebook or something like that, you are absolutely a moron. You should never do that. Or even on TikTok, you are absolutely a moron for doing that. He ended up doing it because he wanted clout for his music. Instead of doing things like promotion, when you're promoting on Instagram, instead of doing things like promoting on, other websites like Twitter, Facebook, where they could do so. Even things like Fiverr. Sometimes Fiverrs do that for like art, like, animators and stuff like that. But, some people want to take the stupid route. There are major clout chasers that try to start trouble even to people of the industry. Even to like start things with their fans. Now, for instance, I don't understand certain people, especially, I'm gonna call this person out. One of the biggest clout chasers is Tekashi 6ix9ine, especially Tekashi 6ix9ine. Though having good music, in my opinion, I thought some of the music was actually pretty good. Especially for this new generation, he has good music. But doing stuff like, going to the court, telling the truth, snitching on most of the people that you were associated with, which, in my opinion, he wasn't wrong for. And then you try to make clout out of it, where you're thinking that, you're not, where you're protected because you are put in protective custody. No. And it just gets him under my skin, where someone like that, who is as talented as him, can literally go through something like that, and people allow that, which makes it even more ridiculous. It makes it more ridiculous because I'm trying to figure out, like, hey, why are we giving this guy a chance? Why are we allowing this to happen? Because people just want to go ahead and say, oh, you know what, like, it's just for clout, it's just a joke. Okay, no problem, fine. Then let's use a different example. That Viner, I completely forgot his name. Lance. Viner, Lance, and freaking I would say like the freaking like, for instance, I'm trying to figure out the Pauls. Yes. Lance Stewart. Lance Stewart and Logan Paul and Jake Paul. They were used to doing things like, being pranksters, being comedians, to a point where, the Pauls got kicked out of their hometowns. And it gets to a point where, like, oh, the whole Japanese situation with Logan Paul or anything, like where he went into the suicide forest and he recorded a dead body, and he was banned from Japan. Like, how do you get banned from a whole country doing that? And then he has to make an apology video, and the problem is, it was monetized. I don't like the fact that, some people make clout out of that. Some people make clout of making people's daily lives miserable, especially with Lance Stewart. I don't like the fact that, they make people's lives like, to a point where it's just like a pain in the ass to deal with. Some people go to the stores and like literally destroy them, and then it gets to a point where the employees have to work that or clean it. Like, that's some things that people need to like literally be stopped from doing. It gets to a point where people just need to chill the fuck out with what they're doing, because of the fact that clout is the exact same reason on why real, like, comedians, real stuntmen, or real people like musicians, artists don't get a freaking chance. I'll give another example, which is absolutely ridiculous. A lot of people start different types of fights with, people like, I would say the Baby, freaking a lot of rappers and stuff like that, to a point where there was one guy who was trying to start beef with the Baby, and he gets his ass whipped on the actual video. It gets to a point where you can actually search that up, and people try that shit with clout to a point where, hey, you know what, it's not freaking funny. It's not funny. You're trying to get famous, but then when you get your ass beat, or when you get your ass kicked, or you get the negative out of it, then you're not gonna want to do it anymore. People start doing that, and then people start doing too much with it. It gets to a point where it's like majorly disgusting. And then, like, here's one thing: people are okay with people doing those videos or doing those type of things, like, you know, like destroying people's property, going there causing trouble for, like, you know, different types of people. Like, also, like, things like the video of when the Szechuan sauce was a big deal for Rick and Morty, and that guy was dancing on the counter causing trouble for people who worked at the restaurant. Like, why would you get on the counter? If I was working there, I would have grabbed your legs and I would have flipped you off the fucking counter. Some people have to work and bust their ass to fucking get to earn a certain amount of money that possibly they don't earn. Possibly that guy was probably living at home, probably earning $1 from his parents, and, you know, there's nothing wrong with that if he's at a younger age. But then at one point, some people have to go ahead and do that shit. You know? Some people have to do that shit, and then it gets to a major point where he could possibly earn, I think he possibly earned a certain amount of clout. But then it gets to a point when people are okay with that, but they won't support a guy, and this is one of the guys that I respect to a certain extent, Queen's Flip, because Queen's Flip goes, even though he does majorly stupid shit, like, you know, cause trouble for people and the same thing, he tries to make it up in regards to, like, you know, giving people a PS4, you know, giving people backpacks, shoes, giving homeless families, you know, water, foods, you know, money for the kids and everything. And he tries to do that in certain areas, even though he does certain things, the stupid shit for clout. Some people will never go ahead and give him the credit for doing that, or some people will never go ahead and give a credit to certain people. Like, for instance, there's these guys that are making like different types of caves or like pools, and they're not getting as much views as the fucking Pauls, which bothers the fuck out of me, because they are massively doing things like making beautiful pools out of like certain things from the wilderness, and they're trying to go ahead and make like amazing fountains, sometimes a hut for people to stay in, you know, stuff like that, and they're not getting anything of views. There's also guys who are trying to show you, hey, this is how you survive out in the wilderness, not giving them many views. There are some people that are trying to go ahead and do things like, hey, I'm making food for the homeless. Then they're recording it, and people are like, oh, why are you recording it? Why are you trying to get views off of that? I'm like, what's the big deal? Why is it okay that someone who is breaking shit and destroying stuff in the store and getting like almost like a couple of views and followers, making more views than those who are actually recording it to show people, hey, there's not that many bad people in the world, and people are willing to help out, and people should be doing the exact same fucking thing. A lot of people don't give a shit about that because they want to just have a simple fucking laugh. And it's very embarrassing, and that's why we need things like gatekeepers. That's why things like gatekeepers in movies and music, even the gaming industry, is fucking needed. Excuse me. And I say this like in regards to like some people who already made it in the industry. Some people will just go ahead and give anybody the spotlight for doing the dumbest of stupid shit and the shit that makes no fucking sense. It gets to a point where I see like in Florida, because in Florida, especially the Florida state, has a lot of homeless. And there are some people out there who are like, you know, a son and a father playing guitar. He's playing guitar. There's a kid that was kicked off the freaking premise because he was playing violin. He wanted to play violin, and he wanted to get some money for himself, to eat something, to do something for himself. Some people even try to do artwork. Some people try to play guitar. And the thing is, they won't go ahead and get any of the star power because they're the homeless. That's what's fucked up. They won't go ahead and get anything of the star power because guess what? They say, oh, you know, the fact that it's not really that big of a deal. But someone who is just a shitty singer, an absolute shitty singer, who has no freaking idea of how to sing a fucking note, will get all this star time, all this star power for people who actually deserve it a lot more than others. And that's a sad part to say, because there are some people who deserve star power, some people who deserve a job, some people who deserve a paycheck more than others. Like, for instance, as I said, there's a bunch of rappers out there that actually rap, that don't want to go into the industry because of the fact that they know that the industry is bullshit, and they will actually go ahead and do nothing for that. Like a rapper or a Token, they say that his rapping is amazing, his rapping is great, he has great metaphors, but that he won't sign with a label because the labels will have to tell him how to rap, or what's this or that, or the fact that he won't get famous. You see, there should be gatekeepers on how to do a certain skill. There are gatekeepers now because of the fact that they will tell you how to rap, or this type of style of rapping is this or that. No. If that's the case, if you guys are saying, oh, we're trying to introduce different types of arts or new types of arts, then why not introduce the arts that freaking build the foundation for that? It doesn't make no sense. That's why gatekeepers need to be like, hey, you know what? Nope, he can't be a rapper. He needs to learn a little bit more of that. Oh no, he can't do art right now. His art is a little bit low, and his art skills are a little bit low. He needs to start practicing a little bit more. Oh, he can't go ahead and be in the gaming industry. He can't be in this company yet. Does he know how to do coding? Does he know C++? Has he used Unity? Has he used Unreal? Oh, he's a concept artist? Let me see his concept art. Oh, he doesn't have any? No, they just can't just go ahead and give these spots away from people because of the fact that, hey, let's say if I'm doing a business, I have a guy who comes in, he knows how, it's a restaurant, let's say like a restaurant. He knows how to cook, he knows how to serve, he knows how to present food on a plate, he knows how to clean the kitchen, he knows how to make everything, and he knows how to lead a whole entire group of, chefs. So let's say I don't hire him over someone else who wants to be a chef, who's never had any type of idea of how to be in the kitchen, doesn't know how to lead, doesn't know how to use this or that, just because, oh, you know what, we can teach him new things and he could be a better chef than what the other guy was. No, we need people who are a lot more skilled in these industries instead of just clout chasers who are willing to do stupid shit to go ahead and get further in the industry and get a certain amount of money. It's very embarrassing. It's very, very embarrassing as someone who loves making games, as someone who wants to go ahead and be in the industry. If I'm told, hey, you know what, we need a guy with 10 years of experience. Hey, I don't have that experience. Okay, guess what? You need a guy with 10 years of experience. That job is not me then. That's how it is. That's how it is. There's these people that have the right to tell you, oh, you don't have a place in doing this. You cannot do this. We need someone who has this experience over you. Because guess what? If I hire a guy, which will take me probably a year and a half to possibly teach how to do something, over a guy who possibly knows how to do this already on the spot, that I don't know what I'm doing, I should not be in the industry, or I should not even have a business. That's just my opinion on it. But comment and let me know what you guys think about this whole situation. Let me know what you guys think about this whole topic. I would love to hear your opinions. Everything is here opinionated. As I said, it's not facts, it's straight opinionated. But definitely subscribe to the EHG community. Definitely turn on your notifications when we get new streams and new videos set out. Definitely join us on our Facebook group, our Discord channel. Make sure to go ahead and check out our merchandise. Follow the Liking Horror on Twitter, and make sure to go ahead and follow us on Glimish. But this is Nikko from the EHG community. Stay tuned for another episode of the EHG podcast. And remember that there's always something amazing on the horizon.